Brendan, good to see you. How are you? Well,
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thank you.
good man. Can I ask you one more asking everybody? The old classic Sky Sports generic question, but it's a big one. Erik is going to be the Manchester United manager. What do you make of that appointment?
Well, I think in terms of the job that he has done at Ajax, it's obviously been admirable and done a fantastic job there at a big club. And I'm pretty sure he'd be really excited to be coming to the Premier League. It's a big challenge. It's a huge challenge, but it's a great challenge for him to take on. Get into Manchester United, and it's one of the biggest clubs in the world. So I'm sure he's really excited about it. And it's another fantastic coach in the league.
I don't know whether you feel the same, but I see some similarities to the situation he's taking on at Old Trafford with the situation that you had at Liverpool, in the sense that there's a huge club there that probably needs a lot of rebuilding, a lot of changes. So what's it like? How difficult is that role when you're the manager fronting it up to bring a club from lower than the expectations have been to back where the fans certainly believe it belongs?
Well, it takes time and patience. I think I was at Liverpool. I was a part of the journey there of where they wanted to get to. Like you say, when I arrived there, I was 39. It was 10 years ago, which has gone fast. But yeah, I arrived there. They were in 8th, and for the first few years, we looked to build. The third year was a difficult, challenging year, but the first 2 years it was fantastic. Jurgen came in after that, and again, first 2 years looking to create something, but you then need to invest. And if you look at the investment that Liverpool put in after that, and then not only that, but bringing in the right types of players with that investment, then of course that takes them then onto a new level. So I think Erik will need that time in those first few years just to impose his identity and style and philosophy. And then from that, obviously very clearly, you then need the players to come in that can take that philosophy on. And but of course, in the modern game, that can be very, very tough. But certainly, it looks like it needs time, needs patience. But clearly, he's an outstanding coach, and I'm sure he'll prove that once he's over here.
Good man, thank you for that. How's it going, Ollie?
Yeah, he's trained with the squad, so hopefully be back involved tomorrow.
So is he available to start, or is that too soon for him, do you think?
Well, it's just about availability. He's obviously come through, and we'll see the after effects this afternoon, just in terms of his knee. But everything over the last few days has been really positive. So hopefully he can have some involvement in the game.
You've got a massive game against Roma coming up on Thursday. How does that affect your thoughts and your team selection plans for this game against Villa?
None at all. None, really. Just looking to the next game. And people are always asking about the Roma game, but I have to respect that there's supporters that are travelling up and down the country. We've had 3 games away from home lately, and away at Newcastle and away at Everton. And I will always pick a team to win the game. As I said, supporters are travelling throughout Europe with us and up and down the country. So my thinking is always on the next game, and that is Aston Villa tomorrow. So we'll play a team that we believe can look to get a good result, and then we have enough recovery time through until Thursday.
Look, I know this has been an incredibly frustrating and testing season for you, but if Leicester can finish in the top 10, and irrespective of what might happen in terms of huge potential bonus with the European campaign, but finishing top 10 in the Premier League when you've dealt with a number of injuries you've had to deal with, you must be delighted by that, aren't you?
Yeah, certainly from a personal perspective, if we finish top 10 and can get to a final of a European competition, it would be one of my best seasons as a manager. Having everything that we've gone through, and and knowing where our budget sits as a club, and knowing what we've been up against, then I'd be absolutely delighted.
That late goal conceded against Everton, in a game that Leicester dominated again, and I'm sure you felt should have got 3 points. What do you say about that, Brendan? I know it's been a bit of an Achilles heel for you at times. What do you say to the players after that?
Yeah, I think the last 2 performances conceding the late goals was disappointing in terms of the result. I think it's just that final extra bit of determination that sees out the game, and also a little bit of luck. I think the Everton goal, how it materialised, and whatnot. But we can only look at ourselves, and it's something that, like I say, you need to have that extra determination to see that through. Performance level at Newcastle and at Everton, I was really pleased with. The control of the game. You see the confidence in the team, the movement, the rhythm in our football. We just demand a bit more in the final third of the pitch, a bit more precision, a bit more quality. But our building through the pitch, the movement, everything I've been really, really happy with. So, like you say, just that final bit of concentration, but a bit of determination, extra bit, just to see the result through. And then you get the result as well as the performance.
That's on from me. Steven Gerrard had a bit of a honeymoon period at Villa. He came in and I think the sheer force of his personality and what he'd achieved in the game inspired the team and led to some brilliant results earlier on. But it's been a bit more sticky for him of late. What are your thoughts?
No, it just takes time. I think that Stephen, for him coming in this season, it's a bit of a case of assessing the players, seeing where they're at, what type of characters he has in there, whilst obviously doing the job. And not too dissimilar to when I came into here. In the period I came in, it was an assessment period through to the end of the season, and then you get an idea of what you're working with under pressure, because I think that's important. I think Stephen will have seen the team, how they train, how the mentality is in training, how they performed in the games, and then that gives him a real life assessment of the squad that he has. And clearly with the ambition, it seems at Aston Villa, they want to try and challenge for European football, and then that allows him the chance to, in the summer, hopefully be able to do that. So yeah, he started his managerial career really, really well. Had a good period in Scotland. He knows the Premier League inside out as a player, and now he'll, and I'm sure, knowing Stephen, he'll be really enjoying the challenge of the Premier League as a manager, because every single game is a huge challenge and it's a huge test. But that's what you want.
Thanks, Brendan.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. We'll go to Nuno and Naz Premji from Premier League Productions.
Okay.
Hi, Naz.
Brendan, Harvey Barnes scored his 20th Premier League goal the other night. He's only one of 6 players since 2018 to score 20 and to assist 20, English players that is. And 3 of that list are from your side. It's Harvey Barnes, Jamie Vardy and James Maddison. It's a huge credit to you and him, isn't it?
Well, it's a huge credit to them. The players, we obviously play an offensive game, we play an attacking game, and of course the players at the top end of the field should benefit from that. So yeah, no, it's great for Harvey. He's continuing with his development, his improvement, and as you say, Jamie, a recognised goal scorer, and James has been improving his numbers each season, and yeah, so it's great. So hopefully they can continue.
How much of a boost is it to have Jamie back in and amongst it, and obviously because of the huge character that he is?
Yeah, it's clearly very important for us. He's a wonderful player, and even at his age, he still has the talents and the mindset to compete and show his qualities. So yeah, he's a big boost for us once he's back available, and like I say, we'll look forward to seeing him hopefully on the field at some point on Saturday.
One thing Rob mentioned in terms of achievements this season, with all the challenges you had injury-wise, it would be huge, wouldn't it, for you to get to a European final and to get into that top 10 position in terms of everything that's gone on with COVID and injuries and everything. Would it be, you said it was your greatest achievement, for the team itself as well to battle through that? It would be huge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I didn't say it was my greatest achievement. I said it would be one of my best, man. So that's different.
Yeah.
But it would be because of the nature of the season and the injuries that we've had. And like I said, but we're not a squad that has the depth of quality of many of the others. So when we're losing and our top players, then of course that makes it a real challenge for us. So and I think if you look at the bigger picture of it, even with our best players, we were a squad that was budgeted to be in and around where we are. So to not have those players available and still be in and around the position that we are, then it's a huge testament to the players and how they've responded to setbacks over the course of the season. So yeah, lots of games, but lots of learning. And like I say, hopefully we can end the season strong. I'm really happy with the level of our football and how we're playing. And like I say, we've got hopefully 10 games now to go to finish the season and finish off really well. So if we can do that, finish in the top 10, I'd be delighted with that.
And it is an exciting end to the season, isn't it? With what, a few months ago, could have been looking at a heck of a lot worse. And it's exciting time for you and the club and the players and the supporters at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. I've always said since I came in, but you want to be challenging through to the end of the season. You never want your season to drift. So you can only do that by performing well and getting good results. And that's what we've been able to do in our time here. We've always been able to go to the end of the season challenging for something. And that, as I've always said, that creates a mindset, it creates a mentality, it creates a growth around the club that you want to be challenging and you never want to be comfortable. So that's something that it's ongoing in terms of the club's development and the team's development. And hopefully, again, that can be the case.
I'll leave it there, Brendan. Thank you very much. Best of luck for the weekend and for Thursday night.
Thanks, Naz. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Naz. We'll go back to the room now with Colin from East Midlands today.
Hi, just one from me, Brendan. I totally understand what you're saying about your focus. I think we're all a bit distracted by Roma. I know from talking to fans, they're a bit distracted by Roma.
Yeah.
How do you keep the players, and how hard is it to keep the players away from all that noise and keep them focused on what you want them focused on?
It's really easy, to be honest. Naturally, I understand why people would look to that, especially on the back of the PSV game and the performance and the great journey that the supporters had there. So there's a real excitement around that, and naturally we get that. But as a manager, you just look to your next game. It really is that mantra, and because we've had so many games, I haven't even looked at Roma yet. I watched the game against Napoli at the weekend, or Monday, sorry. So I'd watched that, but apart from that, the focus was very much on. It was on Everton, and as soon as Everton finished, it was on Aston Villa. And once that's done, then we'll look to Roma. So it's pretty easy, really.
And do you sense your players are following you in doing that as well? They're getting ahead of themselves either?
No. They know the importance of every game. We know the importance of that game, but there's a game in between that, and that's equally as important for us.
Thank you.
Pleasure, thank you.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Erik. Okay.
On Jamie Vardy, I wonder for you what kind of extra dimension that he will add to your selection, to the way that you're able to set your side up now. You have him back, whether that's off the bench or whether he's able to start.
Well, knowing Jamie's qualities, as I'm sure you do, and you know the intensity he can bring to the game, his movement, and also the confidence. That type of player in your team or coming into the game gives the team a huge boost. He's a proven top-level player. We've missed him a lot, and that's the reality of it. But hopefully he's back for a really important period for us, and if we can have him back and fit and available for these last numbers of games, then that will really help us.
Off the pitch, what kind of impact does he have on the rest of those players? Not only being back in training, but if he is on the bench tomorrow, what kind of impact, I suppose, would he just have by being around the place on a match day? Yeah,
players like that are important. Of course, it's difficult when they're working with the medical teams and the sports science teams, because sometimes their schedules are different. They're working at different times, and of course they're not travelling. But once they're back into the squad, his enthusiasm, his energy, and obviously his aura as a player will give confidence. And of course for the supporters it's great, because he's a real legend here at the club, and he's fighting, ready to perform for us.
On the rest of your squad, are there any fresh injuries ahead of tomorrow that will keep anyone out at all?
No. Again, it's just about assessing and managing the players that have been coming back, and we have to be mindful of that. There's still a possibility of 10 games going. It's been a heavy schedule for us, so we have to be mindful. But I still get great confidence in whoever we're playing. You can see the the cohesion of the team when they're playing, like the other night away at Everton, making changes. The team's still playing with that coordination and with that quality. So, but no, there's no one in terms of injury-wise. Bubu Samori is still out. He's outside of the team with personal issues. But no, apart from that, we should be okay.
You mentioned about looking after the players that are coming back from injury. I wonder about Kieran Dewsbury-Hall and Yuri Tillemans as well, who just keep churning that kind of engine room out. Do you have to be careful around their minutes at all, or are you confident in that they're able to keep playing game after game? I know you spoke about Yuri as a rhythm player before. Yeah,
and Kieran is the same as well. I just think that we're really limited in that area. That's the reality of it in terms of the squad. And again, it shows where we're at as a squad, that those guys have to keep playing. But they're also guys that are recovering in between the games very, very well. And of course, after tomorrow, then you have a longer period to recover. But when you see them play, it doesn't take too much away from them. You see Kieran's incredible energy levels, his drive and determination is there, and Yuri's quality is still there. So, but yeah, if we maybe had the possibilities to change it around, then we maybe would have done. But at the moment, they're looking strong and focused.
Final one from me, Brendan. But you said on Wednesday night that you saw your side getting closer to the level that you would expect and what this team have shown. What would you want to see this Saturday to take that extra step? What is the next step for you in getting closer and closer to that level that you talk about?
Just that little bit in the final third. Just turning our ball possession and superiority in the games, and we arrive into a lot of the areas, consistently in the game, and then it's just about finding that last pass or that last bit of quality to finish off some of our really good moves. So clearly that's something that we've focused on. How we're building through the pitches has been really clean, and we've looked decisive in that moment in the games, so just being a bit more ruthless in the final third, and then having that fraction determination to extra little bit of determination just to see the game through. So, but overall, the last 3 away games, I've really enjoyed watching us play, just seeing the confidence back in the team, and you can just follow that through and get the results that the performances deserve. I'll be happy.
Brendan, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. We'll end that section there and then embargo and move into the section for